Springs. I'm really pleased to stand with Representative Tony Exum to sign a bill that will make sure that we don't leave federal money on the table. Basically, there's a $3 million match out there if Colorado comes through with our $3 million to help get people back to work. It's basically about making sure that SNAP beneficiaries, folks that are on the nutrition program, some people refer to that as food stamps. For those who don't get them, it hasn't been stamps for many, many years. It's a credit card, but it is the program that provides nutritional support for lower income Coloradans. It's a federal program, but the real solution, of course, is to get people good work and jobs and skills so that they can move out of that low-wage economy and have a job with benefits. We know those jobs are out there. We just need to connect the people to the skills and help they need to get there. Often it's things like a GED or high school equivalency graduation or basic skills. It could be basic literacy or computer literacy. It can mean childcare assistance or coaching or case management. So how do we really transform and help get people out of poverty and off of reliance on SNAP to be able to fully support themselves? And that's what this $3 million goes to, matched with another $3 million from the federal government for a total of a $6 million investment. I want to thank Representative Exum, Representative Caraveo, Senator Fields, and Senator Kirkmeyer for passing this really important bipartisan legislation as part of our state stimulus to help serve people in more counties, to get folks back to work, especially underserved rural communities, urban communities. We can serve through third-party partners and through county workforce centers. There's a wide variety of ways to meet people where they're at to help them escape from the vicious cycle of poverty and get a good job with the skills that they have. So I'm joined by Chris Garvin from El Paso County Human Services up here, but I want to welcome the sponsor, Representative Exum, to say a few words about this really important bipartisan bill that he passed that'll help more Coloradans support themselves and their families with dignity. Representative Exum.
Thank you, Governor, and thanks everybody for being here. Just a real-life story about what this bill does. A good friend of mine, matter of fact, who just dropped me off, was on this program several years ago when our son was very, very young, and she was in nursing school and working part-time at the YMCA. And she was on this program temporarily, and now she's a full-time nurse, and her son will be starting his freshman year at CSUP. So that's what this program does. It's a hand up, not a handout, for individuals that are trying to make their lives better. And so I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you again. Thanks, Governor, for signing the bill today.
Let's make it official then, shall we? Okay. It's officially the law of the state of Colorado. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For this next bill, I want to thank Senator Lee, and is Senator Heisey here as well? There you are. This bill will help reduce crime in Colorado. We all know that with crime on the rise in many parts of our states, we really have to buckle down and get tough. And this bill makes sure that we expand the Justice Reinvestment Prevention Program to other areas of the state, including Grand Junction and Trinidad, and add a small business grant program for formerly incarcerated people to the initiative. This pilot was launched right here in southeast Colorado Springs, and guess what? It worked. It helped reduce crime, and it showed that this kind of investment can help increase public safety. And what we learned in Colorado Springs will also work in Trinidad, will also work in Grand Junction. This kind of creative thinking is a really leading strategy to keeping Colorado safe. And I couldn't be more excited that as part of the $3.5 million that's invested in this program under this bill, we can expand the utilization of the program to new areas and get new training and grants to help make sure that people who were formerly incarcerated aren't forced to turn back to a life of crime out of desperation, that they have a way forward to support themselves and their families with dignity. Thank you to Representative Holtorf and Representative Ortiz, Senator Heisey, and Senator Lee for your dedication to reducing crime and making sure that Coloradans have second chances in communities across our entire state. And I'd like to turn it over to Senator Heisey.
Thank you, Governor. I'd like to thank my co-sponsor here, Senator Lee. This really is an extension of a program that he put in place here a few years ago and proved that it worked, and we have a lot of examples of that here today. So I'm excited to be able to take this to rural Colorado, and so thank you everyone that was part of this, and thank you for those of you that made it a success.
Thank you, Governor, for coming here to sign this important legislation, and thank you to my co-sponsor for working with me on it. This bill really bookends the criminal justice system. At the front end, it's crime prevention. It puts money into grant programs which are developed out of the local communities to prevent crime. Joaquin Mobley is here running one of those programs which helps to prevent crime in southeast Colorado Springs. The other piece of the bill provides grant programs for people who are formerly incarcerated so that they can start their own businesses. One of the biggest problems we have in Colorado and nationwide is the addiction that we have to incarceration. We incarcerate more people in Colorado and in the United States per capita than any other country in the world, by far, by an order of magnitude of 4 or 5. I see heads shaking of people who are knowledgeable about the system. The only way we're going to alter it is to put together programs that get out in front of crime. And the Justice Reinvestment Program has been touted by the Ford Foundation as a best practice around the country. They came here to Colorado to see how we are doing it, because we are doing it right. And we're measuring it, and we are ensuring that it's working. Communities get together, the people in the communities, to decide what is causing crime. Then they put together grant proposals from nonprofits to address the problems the community identified. That's a public safety measure with not the police, not the law enforcement going in and enforcing it. It's the people of the community getting out in front of crime. So this bill is an expansion of something that absolutely worked because of people like Joaquin, and it's going to continue with expansions into the rest of Colorado. So I thank the governor for his wisdom in signing this bill.
Well, and we're excited to sign it in Colorado Springs, where the pilot program went in thanks to your work, and this is going to have a great effect in Trinidad and Grand Junction and the small business grants in other parts of our state. So thanks for your work.
Thank you. I've got to mention too that Senator Gardner, who was also the co-sponsor on the bill, I thought he might be here today as well, but he was also one of the bipartisan co-sponsors. So thank you.
It's officially the law of Colorado. Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Senator. Okay. Is Representative Snyder here? There he is. How are you? This is an important bill to help protect Colorado's at-risk adults from abuse and neglect. And it's a very complicated area. It's hard work. Counties are tasked with evaluating risk levels of at-risk adults based often on reports. Colorado doesn't have a one-size-fits-all approach. Then counties and level of government closest to the ground is better able to really determine when somebody's at risk. This bipartisan bill establishes a pilot program that's going to give 15 counties in Colorado more flexible tools to use in cases of low-risk abuse and neglect allegations. A number of counties want to test and report on how they can tailor their response to low-level cases, take individual circumstances into account rather than following one statewide mandate, which can often be overly invasive and sometimes is contrary to the interests of the at-risk individual. It's always a very fine line when somebody has to be removed from an unsafe situation, often how they also removed from their support or their family and others. And this will give more flexibility to our counties, folks on the ground in doing that, rather than simply having to look up a one-size-fits-all approach. The goal, of course, is to make sure that at-risk adults are protected without taking away their autonomy, without taking away their privacy, while our adult protective service workers use their extensive knowledge and training to have the ability to make discretionary decisions on the ground based on the facts and what's occurring. Many county human service agencies have used this kind of tailored response in their child welfare programs, also a very challenging area, for years. And in many ways, it can be a friendlier approach that can also get more cooperation from the caretakers of the at-risk individual. The success in the child welfare arena has helped inform and motivate this pilot for at-risk adults. So I want to thank Senator Janal, Senator Gardner, Representative Pelton, and Representative Snyder for sponsoring this effort to give caring, knowledgeable folks on the ground more ability to protect an at-risk adult's safety and dignity. And with that, I'll turn it over to Representative Snyder.
Well, thank you, Governor. I think you covered it very well. This is really an area that's been about 3 years of collaboration between the Colorado Department of Human Services and a lot of our county DHS looking for a better way. Right now, we do have a one-size-fits-all. So if there is a claim made or an allegation or a concern, it requires an unannounced home visit as well as a finding of what the mistreatment is. And what this bill will do will train county personnel in 15 different counties, small and large and in between, to develop a separate way, levels of risk that will need to be what type of response is going to be needed. And so this is really exciting. It's going to be a couple of years where they're gathering information, putting it all together. We'll have a third party help do a review. We hope this will come up with a much better, less intrusive response to dealing with at-risk seniors. So, Governor Polis, thank you so much. I'd like to recognize Commissioner Cammie Bremer and some of our DHS El Paso County staff here with us today. And I really appreciate you coming down today, Governor. Thank you.
Shall we make it officially the law of the state of Colorado, Representative?
Would love to.
Okay. It's official. Congratulations. There's a pen signing pin for you, Mark. It's great to see you.